we came up with these basic 11 fundamentals, plus a contract that we'll get to later.
Okay.
And they're pretty good advice for any kind of success in any relationship. We've been doing it for almost 60 years.
Yeah.
We're still here, right?
Right.
Okay.
So point number one.
Point number one is to listen. I think one of the problems in today's world is we just don't listen. First of all, there's so much noise. It's very distracting. And in the younger generation, they're all about, if they communicate with each other, it's with their fingers, not with their mouths. And therefore, they don't get a chance to listen. They're probably thinking about what they're going to say next, type next, before they answer. But we think that listening as opposed to hearing. Look, some years ago, Rachel and I were talking about something, and I said something, and she didn't react. And I knew she heard me, but I knew she wasn't listening. I reacted very badly. I blew. Oh, I blew. And then I stopped. I said, wait a minute. I know where that's coming from. It's coming from the years I spent with my father. My father was an authentic business genius.
Yes.
And the problem is I'd start talking with him, something would click in his mind, and in the middle of my sentence he'd get up and walk out. It wasn't that he was being rude. He wasn't really listening to me. It was what clicked in his mind.
So you grew up not being heard.
I developed a phobia about it. So when Rachel would hear me like this, but I know she wasn't listening.
That was a trigger.
Yeah, but I tell you, that cured it. I said, okay, I'm not going to do that anymore. Have patience for other people. You know, we know that you hear sirens going off, hear traffic going by, church bells going, but the things we have to listen to are really what's important. Listening as opposed to hearing. And I found something else. It's a skill. It's not automatic.
We have to practice it,
Yeah,
right?
we have to practice it. And what comes out of that, of course, is Rachel's particular talent, which is questioning.
Yeah, I have to know why. And if I don't understand something, I say, explain it to me completely. There's no question that's stupid. Every question is important.
I used to say to her, I told you that. You knew that.
And that killed me half the time. I was ready to divorce him when he used to say that. It wasn't a nice thing to say. But he's learned. Practice makes perfect, right, James?
That's right.
Well, I think that, and I love how you sometimes, Rachel, will say, help me with that.
Yeah. Because
help me with that.
Yeah, I found that is really effective. Let's say that you're with someone, not your partner, not your wife, somebody else, who says something really dumb. Now, there's two ways you can react to that, right? Say, that's the dumbest thing I ever heard. Or you can say, okay, wait a minute. Help me out with this, will you? Mm-hmm. And then you repeat what they said and see if they can explain it.
But like you said, and I know that leads somewhere else. So question. Always ask a question when you don't understand.
Absolutely.
But one thing she preaches to me, and that's
tone. It isn't what he says, but it's how he says it. If he has a gentle tone, he can say anything to me. But if it's a harsh tone, that shuts me up completely.
You're not the only one, right? Like, I think tone has killed more relationships, probably.
Well, suppose that
than words.
Yeah, suppose that somebody asks you a question and you didn't hear it. You could say, "Excuse me," or you could say, "What?"
Yeah.
Now, what's the effect of those two things? Huh? Immediately, the barrier's going to have to go up.
Yeah, you train someone not to talk to you.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly, and that's why we keep conversing.
And if I don't understand anything, I said, "Tell me why." I don't get it, and that's just it. And there's no question that's stupid. Every question should be intelligent.
So when Jim would respond in a tone that was
I did the perfect thing.
Then how did you communicate?
What I did, I never said a word. I totally closed down, and I never said anything, and that killed him. That to him was the hardest thing.
So you got the message from her
silence,
getting silent.
Silence.
She does the same thing with family. If she's quiet for more than 5, everybody says, "Mom, what's wrong?" and they know there's something going on.
So you didn't allow her silence to become the death of the conversation.
Oh no, that's when I would have to respond. Okay, let me put that a different way. It took some training again, you know.
It's very hard for a man to say, I'm sorry. And then when
Maybe hard for anyone.
no, particularly for a man, it really is. And then when he knew that he said something, he did something outrageous. Finally, one time in our marriage, he said, I'm sorry. Remember the one time?
Have you gotten better at that?
Oh, yes. I've trained him very well.